d'habitude, on commençait à pile, quoi.
Ok, on va y arriver. Bonjour jury, hi jury. Hello everyone for this new session, pitch session, Green Heroes Solution for a Better Environment by EIB Institute. Let's go for 1 hour. We're going to hear about 8 social innovators who are going to pitch their solution. It's going to be very inspiring. They're going to illustrate how innovative technological ventures can contribute to circular economy and fighting the impact of climate change. Yes, we want hope, and they are going to bring us some hope, I'm sure. They're going to pitch to our jury here of investors, and they are also all part of the Social Innovation Tournament, Alumni Network, which support entrepreneurs who have social impact. For now, I'm happy to listen to Shiva Destard, who is going to talk about EIB Institute, the partner of this session.
Thank you very much. So, you are in for a really amazing pitching session, because these are our true green heroes. They've been working quite hard, not only on their startups, but they actually have been working really hard to give in 3 minutes everything that they have to say about the amazing companies, and I hope that they will convince our wonderful jury, so thank you very much. Who has heard of the EIB Institute? Anyone? Okay, at least a few of you. Yeah, at least those who are pitching. That's already wonderful. So the Institute is the part, I always joke, it's the part of a bank, where when you get the money, you don't have to pay it back. So remember that, okay? You know, if you want to pay the loan back, go to the bank. If you want to get money and support and love and care, come to the Institute. We have a number of initiatives with universities, building out the ecosystem, innovation ecosystem. We also have arts and culture. So we are really the heart, and I would very often say we're the heart, the brain, and the soul. But then my colleagues at the EIB say, well, you cannot take all the organs, vital organs. So let's say we are the heart. But you will hear today that we are really supporting the latest brains, the best, the brightest minds that are out there. And therefore, I will not take away from their time, but I would really hope that you listen to them, that you support our social innovators, that you give us feedback how we can improve the ecosystem for more innovators to get that support, to be plugged into the EU financing landscape, because that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to make sure that they are well set up for their next round of financing that may come from the private sector, and maybe more from the EIB and others, but we are all in it together. So with that, bon courage, as they say, and let's listen to all the wonderful SRTs, but I think we may hear from the jury first. Thank you very much.
What a good idea. Thank you, Shiva. Thank you. You can keep it for the introduction of the jury. Here you go. So who are you guys? Let us know in maybe one sentence.
I'm Sammy. I head up the climate initiatives at a company called TechNation. So today we've supported 130 climate tech startups in the UK, and we're looking to expand our support across Europe as well, hopefully soon. We provide investment support, access to corporates, access to policy support, and also advisory support as well. So really happy to be here.
Happy to have you here as well.
So I'm Remy Saïd. I'm at Partech. I co-lead the Partech Impact Fund, which invests in impact-native companies with a technological angle and at growth stage.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Erwin from Google, where I lead a global program called Startups for Sustainable Development. We support more than 500 startups in 80 countries that are working on the 17 SDGs. If you're an entrepreneur interested to learn more, you can just reach out to me.
Thank you.
My name is Wiegertje Groenveld. I'm a board member of the Angel Initiative, where we try to get more women business angels in the Netherlands, and also support especially also the women entrepreneurs and founders. to get them to bridge the gap. Working with all kind of investors, from student entrepreneurs to whatever.
Wonderful job. So. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Stéphanie de Beaumont. I work at Fitrust, which is an asset management company dedicated to impact finance. We have a real asset activity supporting more than 30 social impact enterprises in France and Europe.
Wonderful, thank you.
And finally, so I'm Aglaé, part of the Raise management company, which is an investment and innovation platform having philanthropy embedded into its model. And I'm in charge of the impact fund, which is supporting European impact businesses promoting the environmental and social transition. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. We're now going to welcome our first 4 pitchers. Are you ready to listen to them? Are you ready in the audience? Yeah, okay, give a big round of applause to our first pitcher, Vanessa from Newcy! Yeah!
Yeah. Hello. 50 billion cups end up in landfill every single year because good people like you are not connected to the solution. Good people like you need to be connected to good people like us in Newcy. We designed the solution. We have already saved 48 billion cups polluting our planet. This reusable cup. Oh. We didn't choose the biodegradable, compostable cup because it's still waste and it doesn't change our habits. We didn't choose reusable mug because companies told us that people don't use them, keep going back to disposable cups and live in the sink unhygienically. That's why we have created this reusable cup. We have different formats. Did you see that? Yeah, it's ours. Your drink is served in this reusable cup. You use it all day long. At the end of the day, you put it in one of our cup collectors. We collect it, we wash it, and put it back. There is no more waste. It fits in any vending machine, lasts 12 years. Recycled at the end of this life, 100% of our partnerships are disabled people. It's suitable for food contact. It's made here in France. Yeah. We reduce CO2 impact, waste impact, water impact of our clients. We change their employees' behaviors. Why am I here? Because I need you. We have already 90 clients and 80,000 employees using our cups. We have already 30 jobs for people with disabilities. Now, for the next 5 years, we need to expand our sales teams to access to the market. 3 people to grow up with me. We need to prevent 2 billion cups from being discarded. We need to have 100 clients more. We need to have 10 jobs for people with disabilities. We have to make a greater impact for our planet. So come on, come with me. You are in. Newcy is a wonderful excuse for me to do my part over and over and over again. I'm Vanessa Molia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you so much. Woo! Good pitch. Let's now welcome PlasticFri. Welcome, Max.
Hi, my name is Max, and I'm here to present PlasticFri, a revolutionary technology offering plant-based and eco-friendly alternative to plastics. 1,000 years Did you know that conventional plastics are made from petroleum and stay in the environment for thousands of years? We're plastic-free and we're on a mission to change that. During the past 10 years, we've developed a breakthrough technology that eliminates toxic chemicals, works on existing machinery, and reduces costs. That's why PlasticFri has been awarded as the world's most innovative sustainability startup among more than 1,400 companies worldwide. So basically, we use renewable plant resources coming from agricultural waste, non-edible plants, and wood fiber. Then through a unique process, we make different plastic-free products. Our products are designed for circularity. Here you can see some examples from our product portfolio that have the highest impact, including plastic-free cups, straws, e-commerce mailers, and different types of bags. So far, we've succeeded to achieve these milestones. We launched only 1 year ago and have already sold more than 40 million products. That's because our technology is 100% scalable. We are using the existing machines for manufacturing. We also have the toughest certifications. And most importantly, we are creating meaningful environmental impact, such as saving tons of CO2 and a lot of water during our process. Of course, there is competition, but no one has succeeded to solve sustainability at a reasonable cost. With PlasticFri, we've succeeded to bridge this gap. As you can see here, our products break down completely without leaving any traces of microplastics in a few weeks' time. And this is a 600 billion euro industry. Looking at the market right now, bioplastics have only 1% of the total market share, which means there is a huge potential. And we believe that we have a great position to influence this market because we have a strong intellectual property portfolio, including patents, trademark, trade secrets, protocols, and certifications. We have a B2B business model and sell finished products. There are different customer segments. Right now, we focus on these 4 customer segments. Talking about our pipeline, we're already working with some of the world's best brands, such as 7-Eleven, Sodexo, Lufthansa, and Walmart. Because of its innovativeness and great impact, our work has been awarded several times, such as Entrepreneurship World Cup and Prince Daniel Fellowship, and featured on Forbes, BBC, and CNN. Right now, we're looking for strategic partners who can support us with funding and market access to maximize our impact. All of the plastic that has ever been made still exists today. If we continue to use plastic the way we do today, there will be more plastic than fish in our oceans in less than 30 years. I invite you to join us and support us in our mission to stop this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Max. You can go that way. Let's now welcome Fabio from Sea Defense Solutions. Fabio, it's your turn to shine.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Fabio. I'm the CEO of Seads, a startup that is based in Italy that works to stop ocean plastic pollution. 8 to 10 million tons of plastic is entering the ocean every year, the equivalent of 1 truckload of plastic every minute. And by 2050, will be 4 truckloads tipping. The 80% of the plastic entering the ocean actually comes from rivers, and in rivers is still reachable. We developed the floating blue barriers to collect plastic in rivers. They are effective, safe for river wildlife and boat navigation, and they are adaptable to any kind of river. We sell to public administration and all the kind of companies that are interested in cleaning up the rivers. We can sell the barriers, and we generate revenues from selling the service, the cleansing service. Additionally, we will generate ocean-bound plastic credits. Considering that in the world there are 31,000 rivers that are considered polluted, and an average value of a project of cleansing a river of 150,000 euro, and an average of 1 installation per river, the total available market is 4.6 billion. We are not the only one working on this issue, fortunately, but we want to see more of our barriers installed because they are highly effective, low cost in maintenance, allow river navigation, and generate revenues. Last years, we already installed 4 barriers in Italy. 3 more will be installed this year, and we have more than 10 dialogue open in Italy and internationally. Last year, we worked in 2 rivers, mainly, and we generated 150,000 euro of revenues. And in 5 years, we forecasted to be able to install 10 barriers per year, generating 5.3 million per year. This is our team with a successful exit experience, complete with technical innovation, production, communication, and business development, and an international sales team. So we want to lower our barriers as fast as possible, because the faster, the cleaner will be our ocean. We haven't got time to waste. So help us to do that, investing on us. Thank you very much.
And now let's welcome David from Vortex Bladeless.
I will give you the microphone for the next part with the Q&A.
My presentation. Exactly. I want you to watch this video. Tacoma Narrow Bridge, 1940, the 3rd largest bridge in the world of its kind at that moment. As you can imagine, this structure was not designed to collect energy from the wind, but it did. It did it, and it did it very well. Finally, it collapsed. It's due to a well-known physical phenomenon named resonance that is mostly considered a problem. But we also believe that it's an opportunity to develop a new wind machine. Although the idea started with this horizontal bridge, to be able to harvest stronger velocities of the wind, it's better to be S-belt and vertical, like this flower, to catch stronger velocities on the wind and obtain more energy, something like this. A vertical structure that oscillate, that vibrate, okay, without any gear, without mechanism, like the bridge, and also like a photovoltaic panel. Probably we are speaking about the simplest machine in the world able to collect energy from the wind. It's only a vertical tube with a carbon fiber rod, and more or less in the middle there is an alternator that transforms the movement into electricity. And here you can see some of the most remarkable characteristics that we are chasing. It's almost zero maintenance cost. It has a long lifespan. It has a low, or at least different, visual impact. And it's something very important to be silent, okay, in order to install in urban or residential areas. We have manufactured our first pre-series of 100 devices, a small toy of only 85 centimeters high. And with this very small Vortex Nano, this very small toy, we want to scale up the technology, also with our 4 families of patents around the world. Next stage should be Vortex Tacoma, probably our more standard product, a machine of around 2 meters height with an expected nominal power of around 100 watts. And Vortex Atlantis, a machine of around 9 meters height with an expected nominal power of 3 kilowatts. And why not? The market is huge in a different league, okay? Vortex Goliath, a machine of 140 meters height with an expected nominal power of around 1 megawatt. You can install these devices on the land, on the mountains, but the lack of steel mechanisms, the lack of those elements that can be degraded by humidity, salt, and corrosion, can transform this technology in a very, very good option to work in the offshore environment, in the land. That's Vortex Bladeless. Thank you very much, ladies, gentlemen. Support us, follow us to transform the horizon of the world in something more clean and more sustainable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. You can stay with us for the Q&A session. And we're going to call Newcy. Vanessa, you can come back. PlasticFri, Seads, Sea Defense Solutions, and Vortex Bladeless. Welcome. For the Q&A session, dear jury members, it's your time now. And please make sure that each pitcher gets at least one question, please.
I can start with PlasticFri. So over the last almost 2 days now, we had many pitches from startups promoting the latest and greatest plastic, and they all sound the same. We have the best plastic, and we're changing the world. Can you give us some opinion from the outside on really what is about all those different startups, plastic and yours? Like, is it really different in which domain?
Thank you. Fantastic question. So, as you said correctly, everybody else is talking about another plastic. So our name says it all. It's a plastic-free alternative. So as far as I know, there is no other company globally that use waste that offers something that is truly plastic-free, that is also not self-claimed. It's something that is certified. So we have 16 granted certifications. None of the alternatives, direct or indirect competitors to us, have achieved to this level of maturity, and that's why you saw the customer base. So if those customers who have their own due diligence process, a team of experts purchasing those things, if they could find somebody that was bigger or better than us, they would definitely select those. I hope that's at least a brief but short answer to your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a question for yourself, for Sea Defense Solutions.
Thank you.
It's kind of two-in-one question. I think, first of all, you mentioned that you're currently in 2 rivers. I was wondering how efficient your barrier is and what percentage of plastic you've currently collected in those 2 rivers, if you're aware. And then the second one is just on your revenue streams. What are your revenue streams?
Yeah. So we tested our barrier with the University of Florence. During flooding condition, we reached the 92% of the collection. In like the variability of their condition in natural are very high, so we can vary between the 80 to 92%, but like we reach a very high efficiency. Revenues last year working in two rivers has been 150,000. The revenue streams are from the sales of the barriers, but also like offering the service of riverine cleansings. Additionally to that, we're working on producing ocean-bound plastic credits, which means that facilitate the sponsor to sponsor like the not just the installation of the barrier, but like actually capturing the plastic. So like 50 credits will correspond to 50 kilos of plastic captured.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask a question to Newcy.
Yeah.
Because, of course, there are a lot of cups nowadays. Yeah. And there's a lot of competitors. It's also because it's quite a small product, it's a cheap product, and it costs a lot to clean. So how do you do that? Because there is like the coffee that stains, the lipsticks that stains. How do you do that easily and profitably?
Yeah, to wash the cup, we have R&D service. So we search a lot of ways to wash the cups, to erase the lipstick, to erase, and this is not a problem for us because we know that before the lipstick came on the market. Yeah.
So you already made it in such a way that is easily to clean.
Yeah, coffee, latte, a lot of coffee latte, yes, a lot of sugar, a lot of tea, and we have people with a cigarette in the cup. Yeah, this is horrible, I know, but I got it. We got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe a quick question to Vortex Bladeless. Thank you. It's great to see new solutions coming in the renewable world. Maybe just in order to scale, especially in terms of power, to move from the 3 kilowatt up to the 1 megawatt, what are the main obstacles that you are facing? Is it technology, CapEx, or mix of all?
Yes, there are very clear challenges to increase the dimension. Probably what we have to do is to follow the same strategy that the regular wind turbines, the horizontal wind turbines have made. The idea is to go step by step. Probably there will be some kind of aerodynamical challenges, also structural challenges. But it's true that until today, we have started with very small devices, as you saw. And until today, we have been able to scale up to a 9-meter high device. And let's see, but looks that all our estimations in computational simulations and these kind of things have been solved. Okay? From the economical point of view, also it's clear that are also challenges. Our idea is to be as close as possible to the industry that have demonstrated that have been able to solve all similar challenges. We use similar materials. We can probably use similar strategies. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just the last question. Thank you for your presentation. It's a question for Seads.
Yep, thank you.
With whom do you work for the transformation of plastic you collect?
Yeah, we partner up with local waste management companies. And also, like, we are creating a partnership with innovative companies that are able to maximize the recycling. Mainly, these companies are using these two kind of technologies, mechanical recycling and chemical recycling.
I have a question for PlasticFri. I would like to understand, you showed the customer base, but who is your direct customer? What exactly do you sell to them? How do you produce it? Do you have your own operations facilities? And what is the price compared to regular plastic, and how do you compare that?
Perfect. I try to be very fast. So it's a complement to the earlier question. So what sets us apart is true sustainability that I explained, price and performance. So we already today, in high volumes, we are the same price as plastic/paper counterparts. It's a very CapEx-light business. That's the scalability I explained. So we can use the existing machines. So it's not a Lego manufacturing, because part of our IP is tied in the manufacturing process to adapt the existing manufacturing. But today we partner. That's why we can scale up very quickly. The customer segments, we offer the end product. We focus on wholesalers, retailers, brand owners, and distributors at this point in time to give us the scale that we would need. I hope that was the answer to your question.
Wow, thank you so much for your answers. It's very clear. Thank you to the jury as well. You'll have more time to discuss in the networking area at the end. Thank you again. Congratulations. And we're going to welcome the next 4 pitchers for the second round of pitch. Thank you so much. Let's welcome for now Cédric from Resortecs.
Okay. Hello, I am Cédric Van Hoek and I'm the CEO of Resortecs, and we make recycling easy. Currently, more than 100 billion clothes are produced every year, yet less than 1% of those are recycled. This is $500 billion worth of materials that are lost every single year. It's also not surprising that the fashion industry is one of the more polluting industries, representing 10% of the global CO2 emissions. The textile industry has very strict legislation now to curb those bad practices. Brands will need to have access to recyclable material to be able to be compliant. But, there is a but, there is already a vast shortage of that material on the market. Around 45% of what is collected is not reusable and needs to be recycled. But before you recycle, you need to sort. And unlike household waste, everything is stitched together. For 78% of all clothes, they are difficult to recycle because they are difficult to disassemble. And current disassembly solutions are not scalable because they are slow, they waste up to 60% of the material that you want to recuperate, and they don't work on some products, such as those with elastic bands. Resortecs has an automatic disassembly and sorting solution that allows you to reclaim the double amount of the material per product, 5 times faster, and that at the purest, in the purest way, allowing you to have the highest value. It all starts with Smart Stitch. Those are sewing threads that melt at high temperatures and that allow you to make clothing pieces fall apart and separate automatically. And to do this at large scale, we have Smart Disassembly. Those are special disassembly machines that we offer as a service to collector sorters, in which we can take apart tons of garments that were previously stitched with Smart Stitch. This globally solution has been implemented now in almost 1 million products sold by major fashion brands in more than 60 countries. And Resortecs outperforms the mechanical and manual disassembly, mainly because it's one of the solutions that works for an economic, environmental, and operational point of view for all the stakeholders in the whole supply chain. Our mission is to become the fashion's new eco-design standard, and with that, reduce with 1 billion tons the CO2 emissions by 2040. We do that with an award-winning and multidisciplinary team. Now it's time to go beyond that 6 million euros that we raised up so far and to raise 5 million euros in equity to be able to scale the operational team and commercial team, to place 11 disassembly lines across the world, and to integrate this whole solution as a process within the end-of-life stakeholders ecosystem. Resortecs, the technology is so hot, it will melt your mind.
Whoa! What a timekeeper. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cédric. Let's now welcome Javier from the project Fibsen. Your turn to shine.
Everything's run on water. We need water to live, water to production food, to power industry, and yet water scarcity is on rise, even if we don't feel it yet. Hello, I'm Javier, CEO of Fibsen. I come from Valencia, Spain, where water cuts are becoming more and more common. Indeed, in my city, is losing over 30% of water supply in pipes. Yes, and this is not unique to Valencia. In Europe has a similar rate. To put in context, leaks in Europe amount 26 million of bottles of water like this every minute. Every minute. We are throwing away our water. But the problem is that water authorities can find it very easy, the leaks. They find very difficult because the most cost-effective solution is to walk along tens of kilometers on pipe, putting a microphone on the ground and hoping to listen to leaks. Yes, they need a better solution. So to solve this, we have developed a real-time monitoring system that can listen over tens of kilometers, running a small fiber optic sensing inside the pipe. This solution can locate exactly each leak, and quickly the water management can be alerts through a dashboard. Besides, this small fiber optic cable can monitor additional water conditions like temperature or water pressure. We want to give the water authority the power to take care of our water, because future without water is not future. Join us in our mission to end water loss. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javier. 2 more to go. Let's welcome Camille and her project, Rosi. Let's go, Camille.
So, hello everybody. My name is Camille and I'm delighted to present you Rosi. At Rosi, we prevent old solar panels falling into waste and we recover the raw materials out of them with high purity. Since the 2000s, a tremendous development of PV modules has taken place and it's keeping on increasing. But the PV modules have a lifespan of about 25 years. So this massive development is now turning into a huge wave of waste. By 2050, up to 78 million tons of solar panels will become waste. To better understand what we are talking about, let's have a look into the manufacturing process of the PV modules. It centers on producing highly pure silicon ingot. But to do that, it requires a lot of steps, which are very energy and CO2 intensive, and they also require a substantial amount of resources. Then the ingot are sliced into very thin layers, the wafers, which are the precursors of the solar cells. And several materials are added to them in order to produce the solar modules, such as copper, silver, glass, and aluminum. These end-of-life PV modules represent a huge source of resources and value. So at Rosi, we are committed to turning this linear manufacturing process into a circular value chain. The traditional recycling techniques focus on shredding, so they are able to recover mainly glass, aluminum, and copper. They make the majority of the mass of the PV module, but only account for 35% of the economic value. At Rosi, we are able to recover glass, aluminum, and copper, but also silver and silicon, with very high purity grades that have never been achieved before. So thanks to that, we are able to reach up to 95% of economic value recovery from the solar modules. And thanks to the very high purity grade, we are able to reuse and reintegrate these materials into various industrial sectors. So in a glimpse, Rosi has been founded in 2017 in Grenoble, and we have our first recycling plant, which is in operation since last year, and which is truly recycling PV modules with very high purity grades recovered from these secondary raw materials. We have more than 40 people, and we are closing now a Series B fundraising to support our development because we want to go international. So we are now building 2 sites in Spain and Germany. And over the next years, in the medium term, we are also targeting both European and non-European countries in order to address this issue globally. Thank you very much, and happy to connect next time.
Thank you, Camille. Last one to pitch today. Let's welcome Aniela from Mycotex. Oh, I remember you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I want you all to imagine a world in which every textile product that you purchase is made out of natural materials, close to where you live and without exploiting anyone. My name is Aniela Hoiting, and during Art Academy I was always fascinated by personalization and how to do that on mass production scale. I gained industry experience first by working at fashion brands, setting up design departments, and ending up at Tommy Hilfiger, where I was responsible for a yearly revenue of 10 million euros. When I saw fashion repeating itself, this is when I founded my company to focus on fashion innovation. The textile supply chain is complex and wasteful, and there's many problems. Waste, pollution, horrible labor practices. I could talk about it all day. The industry is aware of this and trying to improve with material innovation, better dyeing processes, quick fixes that are needed right now. But it will not be enough in the future. What we need is a systemic change to really create impact. Mycotex by NEFFA is the most innovative and sustainable supply chain for the textile and fashion industry. We use robots to create biomaterials, to create 3D products from biomaterials like mushrooms. We have 3 simple steps. First, we start with a 3D design. Then we create the biomass and apply it with robots onto 3D molds. And after a drying process, the product is ready. There are many benefits. We are developing an automated-based system, making local and on-demand production possible. We are circular. We only work with natural materials and food-grade ingredients. And we offer designers and brands unlimited design freedom. Finally, they are able to create new shapes and textures that are branded. 31 liters of water, 5 kilograms of CO2, fabric waste and more, that's what we're saving with each bag produced. Now imagine this on a factory level where we produce 150,000 bags a year. We can save the water of 150 swimming pools with only one factory. Currently, we are able to produce high-quality products, and our supply chain is at pilot scale. 5 years from now, we have the first 8 manufacturers working with our method. Today, we're looking for brands and investors who truly want to make a difference. So contact me if you're one of them. And I have samples with me in my pockets.
Thank you for the samples as well. Thank you, Angela. Welcome back on this stage. Let's welcome the 3 other pitchers for the Q&A session. Can you move a little bit on your right? Yes, thank you so much. Wonderful. Once again, please make sure each pitcher gets at least 1 question, please.
I can start a question for Resortecs. So I understand the stitching needs to be part of the clothes you recycle. So how do you collect those clothes in the wild? How do you know which ones to collect? Do you collect the mix and then you have to extract the ones? How does that work?
Yeah, so we integrate ourselves within the collection sorting business. So we are collecting garments since the 40s, so it's a 75 years old business that is already collecting 38% of all clothes on the European market. With European legislation, this is going to double in the coming 5 years. And we are using a second part of the European legislation, which is digital product passports, which will be supported on RFIDs in garments. So all the products produced with Smart Stitch have RFIDs and will be sorted out automatically in those collected sorters centers in the coming years. It's something that is in the running or being implemented as we speak.
Thank you.
I have a question for Rosi. Can you explain to us the PV cycle? How long does it take? Does it operate? Then why would you remove it to recycle it? And then what makes your technology unique to recycle it better than other players?
So the PV plants have, a PV module has a lifespan between 20 and 30 years usually. So you have a drop of the performance every year. You will lose a bit of the performance. So at a certain stage, it's not economically viable anymore to have these PV modules, and it's better to replace them with new ones. So this is one source. The second one can be the modules which are destroyed by weather, for example. So all of them, we collect them and we treat them. What makes us different is, as I explained, we are getting all the components from the PV modules. So we are not only focusing on the mass, we are also focusing on the economic value and on the critical material which are inside these PV modules. And we are doing this with a low impact on the environment. So we really want to lower the impact of our process, to reuse the effluents, to minimize the energy consumption and the water consumption, which is not so easy when you do shredding, when you have all these materials that you want to separate. It's very hard to do, and it's very energy intensive to do that. So this is how we differentiate ourselves.
I've got a question for Mycotex. Because you're using waste products, I'm just curious about how much is produced worldwide, and also how much of that material is needed to produce an average-sized shirt.
So we work with one manufacturer now in the Netherlands. There's many mushroom manufacturers, and this one has 30 tons of waste every week. So, yeah, I mean, only in the Netherlands there are several hundreds of mushroom farms. So imagine on a global scale how much waste that is. We developed a process that we can create a slurry from that biomass, and out of 1,000 kilograms of waste material, we can create around 120 square meters of material. And for that, we have partners that can do that for us. So we're not having our own factory. We really rely on partners that are much better in scaling than we are, and so that we can stay on the development. Thank you.
And a question for Fibsen. Just wanted to be sure to understand how it works. So if I understood correctly, you need to install the cables on the water networks. Does it mean that you have to build specific agreements with the water operators? And do you think that it's finally something that the utilities themselves could develop internally?
Thank you for your question. The system installation is very easy. We can install in pre-existing pipes or new pipes because we install inside of the pipe using specific tools that we have patented, and the water utility don't need to cut the water service, and the materials is certificate to drink for water drink, so we don't have any problem to install in long pipes. In one day we can install 2 kilometers, for example. This is our time. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a question for Resortecs as well, because it sounds fascinating, your technology. And you said you've got the smart stitch and smart disassembly. Given just how big of an issue waste is in the fashion space, I was just wondering why you're only going for 5 million for your next raise. Why not 60 million?
It's because we need to focus on there where it makes sense, and we need to build out the ecosystem first. So we need to start placing multiple of those disassembly lines across the globe, and mainly in Europe, where the legislation becomes harder and harsher. And a part of this, the money is raised in debt because it's about machinery, so it's quite capex intense in the short term. And it's only the part for the equity part is only covering the growth of the team and certain of parts of the thermal mechanical machine, but all the rest of the implementation is done with partners and with debt finance. So the budget is much bigger, but we only raise 5 million in equity for now. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a question for Mycotex. Do you already have some contracts or partnership with major brands, clothing brands?
We have a big partnership with a European manufacturer who is then setting up the robotic line for us. And we work with 3 luxury fashion brands and the lighting designer. And the goal is to have the first products onto the market this year. Yeah.
And maybe just a follow-up question to Rosi. Do you think that panel suppliers could change the design of the panels to increase the recycling rate and hence change your own business?
It's a complicated question because it's a trade-off to find between the performance of the solar modules and their ability to be recycled, let's say. Over the years, the technology has not changed a lot. I'm talking about silicon-based modules, so the ones that we recycle. What has changed are the relative composition of the metals. So, for example, you will tend to reduce the silver content because obviously the silver is very expensive, so the producers tend to minimize this. But we are keeping the same composition, so it doesn't really change how we process them for the end of life. But for sure, yeah, we could find better solutions. You know, when you're at the end of the chain, it's more complicated to get all these non-standard products and try to dismantle them. But yeah, we are on the good way to do this.
Thank you very much for your pitches, for your project. Thank you for your question, and it was a nice session together. You can follow up with the conversation at the networking area. Thank you to the audience for having been there. We are doing a second day tomorrow, third day tomorrow. I hope to see you for the next sessions starting 9:30 in the morning. Have a great end of the day and see you maybe tomorrow.